Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Today I am making a computer case with two pieces of wood. Walnut wood is very beautiful, especially its wood grain and color. Simply polish it, apply wood wax oil, and you can see clearly. Its texture, very beautiful. Trim and cut a piece of complete walnut wood. And you can make a very, very beautiful computer case. I believe you have definitely seen it before. Various bizarre computer cases. Some are made of wood, but you have absolutely never seen the making of this case. The final product will absolutely leave you speechless. So stunning that words fail. One of the wooden boards, a rectangular groove, is dug in the middle. This piece is the side of the case, used for installing water cooling fans. Cut with laser. Cut out the designed heat dissipation holes. Then you also need to cut out the backplate of the chassis 28029. This position here. There are power supply ports and motherboard ports. The size of the chassis and the positions of these openings. All are based on the computer's motherboard. Designed based on the dimensions of the graphics card and power supply. Made very compactly. The graphics card installation position should be on the side of the chassis. That's its back. Here is the location of the computer power button. All the components of the chassis have been carefully designed and manufactured. Like this power button, designed very delicately, produced very beautifully. The design details are very precise. Fits seamlessly once installed. Very aesthetically pleasing. Screws are needed to fix the position of the board. So, it also needs to be drilled. After drilling the holes, then screw in a specially designed nut for wood. This way, glue is not needed. Thus, a very nice nut can be made. That's the general structure of the chassis. Just as you expected, the current appearance is not very appealing. But the most crucial and exciting part is coming next. A partition needs to be made in the middle of the chassis. The overall structure is similar to that of an IDX mini chassis. They are quite similar. The main chassis frame is glued with white adhesive. There might be a slight gap, but it's not a problem. Use the repair method. Apply some glue. Dust some powder on it. Then the effect will be perfectly fine. Give it a simple polish again. Apply wood wax oil. Let the wood grain fully show. At the same time, it can also protect the wood. Although the middle partition is not made of walnut. Paint it a bit darker. Also, apply wood wax oil again. Then, the effect is pretty good. The color is almost the same. The wood grain effect is also very similar. The computer case made of walnut looks like this, but it still doesn't look very attractive. Mainly because the computer components haven't been installed. The color is relatively monotonous. The computer components are basically selected in black. Remove the RGB fan from the power supply. Replace it with a regular black fan, in order to coordinate as a whole. More unified. The computer components also need some modification. The final product is black and brown, a bit retro and steady. Also has a bit of cyberpunk vibe. The shop assistant rewrapped it with thin wooden board. Of course, the motherboard and the graphics card are no exception. Similarly, the motherboard is decorated simply with thin wooden board. The look and feel seems even better than the original factory one. This graphics card is too big. Remove the original cooling fan and radiator completely. Swap it out for a custom water cooling solution. Reapply the silicone paper. Install the water cooling system. Then apply the thin wooden panel finish to it. This immediately enhances its appearance. Apart from these, there are a few small accessory details as well. These have also been meticulously designed and crafted. The water pipes need to be bent and trimmed. Then proceed to smooth out any rough edges. Looks okay after putting it on. In terms of color, it's not particularly attractive. This one is relatively easy. Paint it with colors similar to champagne gold and wood. Friends who have assembled computers before, it's really a headache to see this pile of wires. But it's okay. Use 3D printing and make some accessories for the lithium wires. Although it's a bit troublesome, the final product is aesthetically pleasing. Take a look at this effect. OCD folks would definitely find it satisfying. Now, moving on, it's the assembly process everyone enjoys. First step is to install the cooling system, fitting it snugly in place, securing both sides with 3D printed parts. This structure is very sturdy. 3 cooling fans, still in pure black color. Even if you don't fancy a computer without RGB lighting effects. Please make sure to watch the entire video. I guarantee that the final product will definitely amaze you. After installing the cold row heat sink fan, it feels a bit like a computer now. Next, you can install the motherboard and graphics card. Now, the power supply and other accessories. The graphics card needs an extension cable. Everyone should know this. The positions for installing the screws are also pre-embedded in advance. Very precise. The power line of the power supply has been neatly classified through the lithium wire. This is a modular power supply. The advantage is that you don't need to use unnecessary wires, so you don't have to plug them in. The cable management process of the chassis will also be much simpler. You can also customize these wires. The length of the wires can be freely controlled. Isn't this effect very comfortable to look at? The power supply is fixed on the back panel with 4 screws, similar to a regular case. The most troublesome is the motherboard power supply cable. Also use 3D printed parts. After fixing it, you can tighten the wires. Next is to install the water cooling parts. The color is still black. Looks more stable. See the details here. I'm asking, is it delicate or not? Finish organizing the wires. After installing the small accessories, you can mount the graphics card. Due to the compact installation location of the entire chassis, so it also took some effort. Although the graphics card is not placed horizontally, but an additional fixing accessory was also installed on it, with the modified water cooling tube. After it's installed, it's like an embellishment, very aesthetically pleasing. The final computer component. This is just the water cooling controller. Its function is very simple. Just display a temperature. Add a small accessory. Hide the extra wires. Then this computer is basically assembled. Next, we need to test the water cooling. Pressurize it. Check if it leaks or not. As long as it doesn't leak, that means it doesn't leak. Okay, let's finally appreciate the effect of the finished product. What about the effect of this finished product? It hasn't been equipped with a glass cover for now. Look at this effect. Isn't it prettier than those expensive cases? Even more beautiful. After all, it's made of pure solid wood. It has a certain collectible value. 2 pieces of would cost less than 100 renminbi, with the effect of making a computer case worth tens of thousands. Forgot to mention, there are also 2 pieces of glass, at a few more tens of RMB. I'm sure all friends who have seen this are moved.